whenever it's going.
We're live. All right.
All right.
What's going on, guys? Wise Media Group. Dan Wise here with Spotlight Business Thursday. Today, we've got a couple awesome guests with us. We're just two guests today in our new studio. We've got Victor DeLong with DeLong Law Office up first, and then we've got Brittany, I'm not sure if it's Byma or Byma, with Rise Up Real Estate, who will be joining us in about 15 or 20 minutes. He's running a little bit behind schedule, but before that, we're going to get to our first sponsor of the day over at Conquer Athletics. So we'll be right back. Today's Yakima Spotlight Thursday is brought to you by the Recreation Center, which is conveniently located downtown, 200 South Front Street, Yakima. The Recreation Center, your plug-and-play venue for private or public events of all types, sport court rentals, and more. Also, home for Conquer Athletics, top producer of Grit in Central Washington's premier Spartan DECA founding affiliate. Contact them today on Facebook at Conquer Athletics or on Instagram at the Recreation Center. All right. Go check them out anywhere on Facebook, Instagram, all those fun places. So, Victor DeLong, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
So this is our first time meeting. We haven't met before.
Welcome to Yakima.
And we know some of the same people. You've actually got a really nice tattoo.
Oh, yeah. He was one of your guests recently.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, 70 hours over about 10 months.
Whew.
Spent a lot of time with him.
Man, that's like a probation term.
Yeah, he's an upseller. It was going to be a small one, but we went big.
Yeah. So you are what type of attorney? You're workers' comp,
When someone
family
gets hurt
law
on the job, we step in to make sure that they get the benefits that they're entitled to.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about you're inspired to help, because you said you've kind of dabbled in some other areas when you first started, but this is where you landed.
When I was a kid, a million years ago, 11 or 12 years old, something like that, my dad fell off a ladder picking apples.
Ooh.
And he had 8 years of school, didn't know anything about lawyers or doctors or a lie. And for 2 years, we were a family of 5 kids, and we were hungry every night. And so when I got out of law school, there's a lot of areas of law, obviously divorce and bankruptcy and personal injury that can, make you a zillionaire. But I came back to Yakima specifically to do exactly this, because I'd seen and lived the same situation that most of my clients are in, which is money's tight, they're physically in pain, the individual worker is stressed, his family is stressed. So we do what we can to take some of that stress off of them.
And who's like an ideal client? Like, is it somebody that gets hurt on a job? Is it, because a lot of people are watching like, oh, I got in a car accident yesterday. Is that somebody that would be calling you?
We can help if it's a car accident related to your work.
Okay.
You're a delivery driver, or you're driving to pick up something for your job. If it's a claim with Labor and Industries, then that's something we can do. And typically there are 2 types of medical cases with LNI. There's injuries, which is a sudden tangible event occurring from without. You fall off a ladder, you get kicked by a cow, get in a car wreck while you're working. Or there's occupational disease, which is a condition that arises over a longer period of time. Tendinitis, carpal tunnel, epicondylitis, asbestosis, cancer, sometimes things that happen because of what's going on the job, but it's not something that happens right away. It takes time to do. So both of those types of cases we can handle.
Have you actually dealt with any injuries with somebody who's kicked by a cow?
Oh, absolutely. This is
Okay.
This is an agricultural community.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
I've probably in the last 25 years had at least a dozen people who were either kicked or knocked over by a cow out at the dairies.
Wow.
Yeah.
You ever been kicked by a cow, Mario?
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
We give you my card before we go.
True attorney.
Yeah.
So
When I was a kid, I was free labor.
Oh,
so.
yeah, I know that. I worked with my dad in the fields my entire life growing up. So
when you talk about like challenges and success, what are some of the common challenges injured workers face, and how does your office help navigate these?
Well, so there's a difference with a workers' comp case versus almost any other kind of case. A divorce case, bankruptcy, personal injury, you're aiming at one certain date in time. You're aiming at one battle and hopefully one victory somewhere down the road. Your divorce is final. Your bankruptcy is final. You settle or you win the big lawsuit and get your millions of dollars. With workers' comp, it's not that way. There isn't a certain date in the future. You are looking at a battle sometimes every single week to keep your time loss coming, to get your treatment authorized, to get your medications authorized, to get this new condition allowed. Sometimes we're at that well every single week trying to make sure that people get the entire bundle of benefits that they're entitled to.
Is there a case that sticks out in your head, like a memorable case that you were like, man, this guy is in really bad shape. He's doesn't know where to go, and where you guys were able to provide some really valuable assistance?
I mean, to be fair, I think that's most of my clients.
Okay.
One that just came up a week ago. We've been dealing with this guy, injured his left knee about 10 years ago. And every time the knee was getting better, and we were getting him into some retraining, something else happened. He got hit in a car on his way to physical therapy, which was covered under the claim because it's part of his physical therapy. That knocked him back a year. He was going to school to get some vocational retraining. He slipped and fell down the stairs. That was covered. So we finally, just now after 10 years, won this poor guy a pension.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a very long road. That's not typical, that length of time. But
What is the typical length of time for a case?
I'm really not sure there is one. My shortest case is probably 3 or 4 months. We closed one a couple of years ago that the guy had been injured in 2002.
So what do these people do during that entire time? Like, are they just surviving?
I mean, the idea in theory is that we get them their time off, so they're getting a percentage of the wages every 2 weeks for as long as their doctor is certifying that they can't work.
So they're getting money while they're waiting for the lawsuit.
Yeah, there's 5 major benefits under workers' comp when you get hurt on the job. The first one, the most important, is medical care for everything related to the injury, including if there's PTSD because you fell 35 feet from a silo, they'll cover the psych care for that. Your knee starts to go out because you screwed up your low back, they'll cover the treatment for the knee. So basically anything that stems from that injury, they cover the medical care. If you can't work, or if you can't work as much as you used to, then you get either time loss or loss of earning power benefits, which is a percentage of your wages at the time of injury. If you're not going to be able to go back to work because of the injury, there's a chance for up to 2 years of vocational retraining, which is an amazing opportunity because let's say you worked in the orchards all your life or a trucker and you just can't do anything physical. There's an opportunity to get a couple of years of training to be able to do something lighter, sedentary. Okay. At the end of the claim, if you're able to go back to work, but we're able to prove that you've lost some permanent use or function or strength or movement or flexibility or range of motion of a body part, then we fight to get what's called a permanent partial disability award, which is a one-time lump sum payment that's really not meant to compensate you for what you've lost, but it's better in your pocket than LMI's.
Right.
It's a little bit of money to recognize that you've suffered some permanent but not quite disabling condition. And if you're simply never going to be able to work again, ever, regardless of any retraining, then the focus switches to getting you a pension, which is a payment once a month for the rest of your life. And depending on how you structure it, possibly for the rest of the life of your spouse.
Wow. So if somebody were to go about this on their own, there's probably sounds like you're dealing with a potential, the organization that's fighting back. They don't just want to give you this money. No. It's like any other insurance company. They want to.
Labor Industries is indeed an insurance company. And in my view, they have typically 2 goals: to deny everything that they can deny and then close the claim as quickly as possible because they're cutting costs.
Wow.
But what are costs? Costs are your time loss benefits, your visits to the chiropractor, your surgery, your medication, your walker, your prosthetic boot, whatever. These are all benefits that you have paid for already. And in fact, Washington State is the only state out of the 50 in which an injured worker also pays premiums to Labor and Industries. The other 49 states, the employers bear all of the costs. Here, you're working. They don't give you the option of not taking money out of your check. So every month or every hour that you work, you're paying for this insurance.
It sounds like it's an industry just like other, whether it's auto or you're filing claims, basically. And people are just getting jerked around.
Exactly.
You probably deal with a lot of people that are going through like levels of depression as well. This seems like it can really take a toll on someone's mental health. Like they're not working. They don't know what the certainty of the future is. And you've been doing this for how long?
This is my 24th year.
24th year. It's a long time.
It is. I will tell you that I don't think I've ever seen a claim that had chronic inability to work or chronic pain where there wasn't some degree of depression. And when I first started this a million years ago, I was always a little nervous about bringing up depression. I don't want my client to think he's, that I think he's crazy. And now I think the only person who's crazy is the guy who can't walk and can't play with his kids and can't even get up to go to the bathroom. And he's not depressed about it. That's the only crazy guy.
Yeah.
That's a 100% normal.
These are pretty normal reasons to be depressed.
Absolutely. It's absolutely, it is an expected part of nearly every serious injury.
And I don't, when most people think of like, I'm going to hire an attorney, they don't really think of those additional fringe benefits where you're probably putting them in touch with, hey, let's make sure that your mental health is under control.
Absolutely.
And all this gets paid for through,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right?
So my philosophy is this: when someone signs with me, I tell them they have 3 responsibilities. Go to your doctor, do what your doctor tells you, and then keep me informed. All of the rest of the case, we manage. All of the communication with labor and industries, the claims manager, the supervisor, investigators, vocational counselors, all of that passes through my office. That way my client can focus on getting better, and we focus on these 3 million legal details that frankly can be confounding to anyone who's not a lawyer.
And so somebody gets hurt. Let's say Mario over here gets kicked by another, what was it? A mule? No, a cow. He gets kicked by another cow. What should somebody like that, what should their first steps be that they should be taking the minute something happens?
I tell my clients, if you fall off a ladder, as soon as you get up off the ground, go to the doctor.
Okay.
That's how you start the process. The doctor fills out an application for benefits. There's 48 questions that you will fill out, basically all the details that LNI needs. That starts the process. That puts you into the system, and LNI covers the medical bills related to that after that moment.
And the client finds you?
Yeah, typically they've, seen my ad.
Because LNI is not pointing them your direction.
Absolutely not. Although I'm proud to say, that many doctors in the Valley and vocational counselors give my name out because they've worked with us and they know that we're upfront. So
now this I didn't know, so I didn't have this prepared on the questions, but you told me as you came in here that you also are fluent in Spanish.
I am, yes.
Okay, so you probably help a large member of the community, a large community section of Spanish speaking individuals.
Yeah,
as
we have
well.
a lot of farm workers.
Absolutely. And most of them probably speak Spanish.
Yeah, this is an agricultural community. The economy of this valley, in large part, depends on agriculture and on those workers who are out there working.
Have you always spoke Spanish?
I learned it in junior high and in high school. And
okay.
At some point, when I first opened, I was with another firm for 10 or 11 years, and when I went to open my own firm, that first year, you're cutting costs. And so I had to step up to the plate and overcome my nervousness about screwing up. And yeah, now I've got a radio show in Spanish and all of my meetings are in Spanish if those clients.
Where I didn't know yet. Well, I didn't know that it was something that you promoted this much, but where can people find your radio station? Because I don't have that pulled up.
It's on La Grande, which I think is 96.9. It's Fridays at 11.
Say that one more time.
It's La Grande 96.9, I think is the call numbers. And it's every Friday at 11 o'clock.
I'll get that information from you when you leave, and we'll add that into the description. Other than that, what is the best format place for people to contact you, find you?
Okay. Well, the easiest way is to just call 509-248-9991. We can set you up with an appointment. That first appointment, a lot of people are nervous about going to a lawyer.
Right.
Understandably so. Usually they're not going when they're at the best time of their life. Things are stressful, and so they're already under stress going to the lawyer. And then the rigidity, the formality. A lot of people assume lawyers are going to be super strict. I could see.
I'm not gonna lie, I was scared when you coming in today.
I'm not.
Oh boy,
I've
here
got
it
a full
comes.
sleeve, and honestly, I put a jacket on for you guys today. But usually, I'm wearing a Guayabera shirt or a Hawaiian shirt in the office.
You do look quite dapper, I must say.
I appreciate that. After lockdown, man, when we started doing stuff by phone, I hung my suits up, and
you're running around the streets naked of Yakima. I hope not.
So yeah, for the time there it was just Hawaiian shirts and shorts when we were doing everything by phone. Now I'll actually put long pants on, but we're pretty relaxed at that.
Do you have any upcoming, like, when's your next air on the radio? Anything you want people that want to know a little bit more about you? Any upcoming events or anything like that coming up?
Just the Friday interview on that Mexican station.
Okay, that's every Friday.
Every Friday. Yeah.
Every Friday.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Very cool.
And so we've been doing this. I opened my own office the first business day of 2011. And we've been doing it ever since.
The first business day of 2011. What is the first business day? Is that
it was like the third?
Okay,
it was on Monday.
Anything that we didn't touch on that you think is valuable for people to have some insight on?
What I say is this: that Labor and Industries has its whole cadre of attorneys. When you get hurt, the first step is to go to your doctor and get that claim number, and then the next step, honestly, is to call me or a better looking attorney. and set up a consult so that you can at least know what your rights are. That first interview we do, there's no obligation. If you think you don't need help, I'm happy to just orient you, and then you go on your way.
And the consultation's free?
Absolutely, yeah.
And Amanda is your assistant?
She is, yeah.
Amanda, and I got to tell you, when you call an attorney's office and you get some of those stone cold like gatekeepers, that's a turnoff. Amanda's very pleasant. You know, when I called Amanda, she was very like, obviously she does her job.
I find that if I just do what she tells me, everything goes smooth. If I'm out of the office and she's there, everything's great.
Sounds like you have job security, Amanda.
Yeah, if she's gone and I'm there, it's all go straight to hell. So the one thing we do focus on in my office more than I think any other office in town is a personal degree of service. One of the reasons I left the last firm was there was a lot of pressure on the attorneys not to meet with their clients because that you're not making money in the idea.
Right.
If you're not sitting at your desk, I don't see how you could work with someone and not know them.
Did you ever see the Stanford Project or familiar with the Stanford Project? Yeah. Even though it's not relatable to attorneys, but it seems like when you're a little kid and you're like, I want to grow up and be an attorney, you want to grow up and help people.
Yeah.
And then you become an attorney. Before you know it, it's like, I don't want to talk to anybody. It's not making any money.
It can be.
Where does that happen? Like, because it happens to so many.
Well, so when you join a firm and you become partner, there is an enormous amount of pressure from other partners to make rain, to bring money in. I found that idea distasteful. The senior partners that that were my mentors stressed always, do your job, do it right. Money will take care of itself.
Right.
At some point, younger partners came in where I was, and that kind of changed a little bit. So I'm happy where I am. When you schedule an intake in my office, you're meeting with me, not my assistant, no interpreter. If you're Spanish speaking, you're meeting actually with me, the attorney, not somebody else. Most other firms, I've got clients who've been with other firms who've never
met their attorney.
Yeah, they've talked to legal assistants the entire time. I don't get how you can do that.
Yeah, I imagine if you're an attorney and you're focusing more on, hey, if we do really good by our clients and we get our clients money and they're able to go out and buy Ferraris, then we can go buy ours. But let's have our clients get ours.
You know, that's fine with me.
Victor, man, I really appreciate you coming on, sharing with us today. If you're ever interested, you have any upcoming events and you want to do a longer segment, we can set something up for you.
Absolutely.
Let's point right over there and say goodbye to everybody that's watching.
509-248-9991.
There you go. All right, Victor, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Guys, coming up in a few minutes, we are going to have Brittany Byma, who's going to be joining us. And before we get to Brittany, let's go ahead and share this little spotlight from our sponsor over at the Recreation Center. We'll be right back.
The weird thing about that was
you click on it. Yep. Today's Yakima Spotlight Thursday is brought to you by the Recreation Center, which is conveniently located downtown, 200 South Front Street, Yakima. The Recreation Center, your plug-and-play venue for private or public events of all types, sport court rentals, and more. Also, home for Conquer Athletics, top producer of Grit in Central Washington's premier Spartan DECA founding affiliate. Contact them today on Facebook at Conquer Athletics or on Instagram at The Recreation Center.
Water would be great. Actually, do you have a garbage can so I'm not chomping my gum?
Yep.
I'm sure that's kind of annoying.
No, keep it going. God, scared me, Mario.
What was that, Dan? Shut it down? Shut it all down?
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're back. We've got Brittany here with us. She's throwing away her gum. And Mario, if you could put it on widescreen for a couple seconds, and if you could grab her water, that would be super.
Why, yes, sir, Mr. Boss Man.
Thank you. Brittany, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Get up on that microphone a little bit. It's not going to bite you.
All right. Well,
there we go.
There we go. I'm a little short, so I got to adjust it.
I have the one that bites.
So, Brittany, you're with Rise Up Real Estate.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So
and I have a few other businesses as well.
I was going to say, because I was like, I get to be your hand model today. I'm so excited. And shaking hands with somebody. Is he in this building?
He used to be.
Okay.
Then Ricard.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I recognize the name.
Yep.
I just can't place the face.
Yeah. So we're doing a commercial. Basically, today I'm kind of dedicating to promoting my real estate business and yeah, just going from there.
Nice. If you want to wear headphones, you can. Or you don't have to. It's up to you.
Do I hear myself better?
You do.
Okay.
You hear all of us.
All right.
How's that?
That sounds good.
Yeah, there you go. So how did you hear about Business Spotlight Thursday, Brittany?
Good question.
Was it just like online?
I think it was a social media, was an advertisement, I believe.
Okay.
I'm not really sure, but
All right, good. So we're making our reach out there.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your journey from business owner 15 years to founding Rise Up Real Estate.
Well, I have been self-employed since I was 18 years old. My dad came to America from El Salvador and has been a business owner my whole life, and that's all I knew. So getting into at first massage therapy, I already knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur and be my own boss. So I was renting commercial real estate for 15 years and just scaling my business and going from there. And then I needed to make the switch to renting a commercial real estate location to owning one. And that's when I made the decision to educate myself and get into commercial real estate.
So do you own a commercial? What do you?
I in Sunnyside, Washington. That's
Okay.
where I'm based. And well, I pretty much for real estate, I cover Yakima to Tri-Cities.
Okay.
Or Natchez to Tri-Cities. So Yakima County and Benton County. But my commercial building, I bought a medical office building, and it's awesome. I'm helping now small business owners build and scale their businesses by having multiple businesses within that building. And then I'm also converting my vacant piece of land right next to it, because it came with 2 parcels, into a food truck park. So
Oh, cool. A food truck park?
Yes.
Okay.
So multiple food trucks parked in the same vicinity.
So it's just for parking
Well, they serve their food
out of that location.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
And then
Is it hard for businesses to get permits in town to serve out of a food truck in other areas? I mean,
well, it kind of depends too. Like, it depends if they're a food truck or a trailer. They have to have their Department of Health and all that stuff. So everybody has to jump through their hoops and stuff. And yeah,
I imagine, because just like, renting a home versus owning a home, renting an office space, you get into your dream office and then
yeah,
rent goes through the roof and you get pushed out. You can no longer afford it. And now you're scrambling. So
yeah.
what are like the first steps for, do you know Pablo Castillo? I think he's a tattoo artist.
Oh, in Sunnyside?
No, he's here.
Oh, he's there. Oh, no, I don't think I do.
He's actually looking for a building as we speak, because he's tired of renting.
Absolutely.
So I'll put you in touch with him.
Absolutely. The reason why I even got into this is because my struggle was an aggressive, I say aggressive lightly, 2 years, because trying to find not just the perfect location, but the funding, all the ins and outs of it, and just literally knowing nothing about real estate, and then had to educate myself on my own to acquire that building, and then going from there. So I'm like, you know what? If it was that hard for me and I got that much knowledge into it, I can help share that with others.
Yeah.
And just
creating a roadmap is probably
absolutely,
can save some time so people don't make some of the same mistakes.
That was the thing. Going through a lot of these different mistakes and avenues that I tried to go down, I'm like, you know what? If I can help somebody through my experiences, that's just everything. So
what have been some of the biggest challenges coming to that? If somebody's like, hey, I'm tired of renting, I'm going to go buy a building.
Yeah.
What are some of the big hurdles someone's going to run into that they can maybe avoid by having coffee with you?
Yeah. Financing is huge. Obviously, that's the number one thing. How are you going to get the funding?
Probably not a lot of cash offers.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but the thing is inventory. So that's the biggest thing that, I would say funding and inventory, because if there's not a lot of places for sale, you got to get creative and actually start talking to these commercial building owners and stuff. And sometimes they just actually might say yes and want to sell, but it kind of sucks because the ball is in their court, or they're actually,
they got the demand.
They have leverage.
Yeah.
Yes. Over that buyer.
It's a seller's market, I guess, in the Commercial.
Yeah.
Do you only focus on commercial?
No, actually, I do residential as well. So, being in business for 15 years and pretty much built my clientele of a really good amount. They know and trust me already from my current businesses, and then they're just using me for a different service now. So I'll do residential. I'll help somebody to buy or sell a home, or do commercial as well. But my heart is in commercial just because that's what I did, and I know I can help others do it without all these crazy, you know what I mean? No family money, no handouts, any of that. It's like,
Right.
you can actually do it.
Is personal credit a big factor when it comes to buying a building?
Yes. If you're going to be getting financed by a bank, personal credit is definitely a factor. So I have some really amazing commercial lenders. So 2 in particular, one in the Seattle area and one in the Sunnyside area, and they're just amazing. So if anybody wants to get connected with me with that, I can definitely. I'm kind of like that resource to be like, okay, do you need a good insurance agent? Here's a few that I have, or what's your specialty? Because
You're like the networking HubSpot.
yeah, exactly. So
We should coin that, Mario. Networkinghubspot.com. Let's pop up her Facebook for a second. Is that like the primary place where you want people to find you?
Well, with my businesses, I actually have kept a lot of them separately because, for example, I own a wellness center, and I have a separate page for that because that's grown into, well, it's its own entity. So once I start a business, I'm just trying to basically feed it and let it grow, and then let it just grow on its own without me. So
Right.
that's kind of the goal.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that one is my personal.
Is there one?
So Rise Up Real Estate, if you look up Rise Up Real Estate.
Type in Rise Up Real Estate. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay.
So that one is the commercial. So there's that. There's a few clients on there that I've recently have helped get their property of their dreams.
And if somebody wants to contact you, is this the best spot to go?
Actually, no. By phone is best.
Okay. And, is the phone number on here?
Yep, it should be on there. 509.
I see it. Yep.
830-7326.
Let's go back to the cameras, Mario. Can you tell us an experience you had with maybe a buyer that was like something that really sticks out, where it was like, man, this is going to be a tough one,
Yeah.
where it's like a happy ending?
Absolutely. So I would definitely say is actually a recent, was last year. It was a lease. This particular client was trying to find a location here in Yakima. They're actually based here. They have a few businesses here, and they were just having a heck of a time finding a location, especially that meets their budget monthly, because a lot of these, and they need a lot of square footage. They need a minimum of 9,000 square feet.
Damn.
So yeah, it's a lot.
I thought my 1,500 square foot was a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So this square footage, it's so expensive to find something like that, and in a good location, just all the stuff, all the boxes checked. And it took, I would say, a good 6 months of not just searching, but also negotiating with a really good spot. I actually brought them to Sunnyside, and they took a chance on opening their business in Sunnyside, and they just took off, and they're doing amazing. The rent is a little bit cheaper there. We're actually halfway between Yakima and Tri-Cities, so we are like a hub. It's really nice. So yeah, we got them in there, and now they're working still with me with different stuff like that. I'm on the Economic Development Commission, and the city of Sunnyside, we're actually doing very low interest business loans that are not as strict as the bank. Like if you were to go to the bank, and of course, like you just said, personal credit, all that stuff, that's a huge factor. But
Right.
for the city, this is government funds. It's basically grant money that we made into a revolving loan fund. And it's just an amazing opportunity to get this basically free money. You do have to pay it back, but it's 1 to 3%. interest.
That's not bad.
Yeah, you can't.
Well,
find
so
anyone.
that was actually a question I had. Are rates comparable from like residential market rates to commercial market rates?
Commercial usually historically a little bit higher.
Higher.
A
Okay.
little bit higher because it's a little bit more risky.
Yeah.
Right. So like let's say if a bank were to, last resort foreclose on a commercial building, they don't really know what to do with it.
Right.
Usually they
Yeah, you can't just go flip it.
exactly.
Can't go to the auction house.
Exactly.
It's a good point.
Yeah. So as a commercial investor, that any commercial investment is a little bit more risky, but having that relationship with that lender or that agent to vouch for you as well to that lender to be like, hey, this person knows business, they know their goals, they have their vision and everything like that. Like that actually makes a world of a difference for that lender and underwriter to actually know your story.
Right.
Because technically when I bought my commercial building,
How big is your commercial building?
it's 2,050 square feet.
Okay. Is it just you there?
No, so
You
I have
rent it out?
nine other tenants in there.
Okay.
And then room for more.
Okay. So they're like private offices type of a thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
private offices, and then I do part-time and then full-time options.
Okay.
So if they're part-time, they have to agree to, hey, I want to actually, or I'm able to share this space with somebody else and basically split rent.
Okay.
So that makes it actually financially doable for a lot of people that are not
That can't afford.
or not even ready to scale their business yet. 'Cause
Right.
most of the time, most entrepreneurs and self-employed people, they just started off as a side hustle at first,
Oh,
and it's just a way to get in the door. Hey,
yeah.
so that's what it is. It's like they want to do, hey, I want to rent a commercial space, or I need a space. It's getting too big for my own home or whatnot. Then
Sounds like almost like you're familiar with Regis?
no.
Regis, they'd have the usually like in Wells Fargo buildings. I'm sure you guys have
Oh,
something
yeah.
comparable here where they're like little private offices.
Yep.
They come furnished already. There's
Mhm.
usually like a receptionist that works for
Yeah.
Regis.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
A shared space, basically.
Shared space.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can have your own private office,
Mhm.
So you do that, which is really, really cool. That's really cool.
It's awesome.
Man.
It's awesome because it's
How many
like
tenants do you need there to stay afloat? Like percentage wise?
honestly, I'm good, but like I said, there's room for more.
Right.
Because we're all pretty much the same. There's one person that is not in the same general genre, I would say, of work. So
Real estate, mortgage,
Well-
title.
well, actually, the wellness center is more self-care, like massage therapy, esthetician.
Oh, that's what you do there.
Yeah, that's what I do
okay.
there. I do have my real estate office in there because that's the general.
Why not? It's
I
your
mean, that
building.
exactly.
Do whatever you want when you own the building.
Exactly. But if another tenant wants in, I will move my office out.
Okay.
So,
Business first.
Yes, exactly. And then just giving them an opportunity as well, because it's just a good marketing tactic as far as if it's a wellness center, people go to generally one hub like we're talking about.
So does your husband have to pencil in date night?
Yeah, it's I have to pencil it in because it's like, yeah.
Is he in the same industry as you?
No, he's in the agriculture industry.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but that makes our valley go round,
Yeah.
and it's just awesome. He's a farm kid and
Cool.
still is.
What are your hobbies? What do you do when you're not working? What are some cool things you could share with people like that you like to do?
I run a lot. In 2013, I lost 10 pant sizes from running. I just started off as walking every single day. And then it turned into running.
Did you say 10 pants sizes?
10 pant sizes. I don't even.
That's a lot of pant sizes.
I know it sounds random.
I'm picturing like a.
Yeah. I don't say weight because I actually don't know. I don't know how much I weigh. I lost.
Right.
Do
you feel like that's I've always had that question about people that go up and down in weight. When you find yourself too focused on the actual weight, it's almost like calorie counters.
Absolutely.
You drive yourself fucking nuts.
Absolutely. And no worries. I absolutely agree. So, being the one that I just want to constantly educate myself, I got my personal training certification and I started training people because people are like, how did you do this? What are you doing? What's your secret? What pill are you taking? I'm like, there is no secret pill.
Mario, we might be interviewing our first AI robot right now. Multiple businesses. She's running.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So, that's the other aspect is my business and I have that other separate page. is the personal training and stuff. So that's a part of the wellness center too. I have a Fit 3D body scanner. It measures your body composition and all that cool stuff.
I think, do you know Craig Caudell? Is it the one
No,
you stand on? You there's paddles you pick up.
Yes, and it turns you around.
Yes.
And it's literally 3D. It's creepy.
It gives you like a full printout of like everything.
It goes straight to your phone.
You know, yeah. So I got to tell you, I thought these things were full of shit because there's all these gimmicks. And I had a massive surgery. I had a bilateral rip. I lost my bicep and they had to like, yeah. So it's like a mini bicep on my arm now, like mini man. And when they did this scan on me, when I'm reading the report, it gave such detail about the circumference of my right arm versus my left arm.
Oh yeah, it literally measures your right calf, your left calf. It's like, oh, okay.
And those are expensive. So do you must, I mean, those are not cheap. Do you have like a business out of this?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's literally, so Complete Wellness is a separate entity that's been alive for 15 years and has a history. And I would say put a little tidbit in here is for small business owners, obviously set up your LLC and open a business credit line in that, because as soon as you open that,
but you say open a business credit line, they still have to go personally guarantor.
Yeah, it does you got to back it up, obviously, from the LLC.
And when you say credit line, you're referring to like a credit card?
Just a small credit card. And just get product, little equipment, stuff like that, and start from there and just kind of growing that business credit.
It's like your Dun & Bradstreet and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
And so that's separate from your personal credit.
Right. And if you build that up good enough, you can eventually use that.
Absolutely.
And then if you go belly up.
Yep. Well, hopefully not,
but
you got to learn from it.
It's way better, taking that hit on your business that's going, than your personal credit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, it's just, there's so anyway, that's pretty much a lot of my extra free time. Circling back to what you asked is fitness, running. Right now I'm training for an ultra marathon in Zion National Park in April. And I have huskies. I breed huskies, and they're just my running. They're literally bred for running, for their working dogs.
So they run with you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So I run.
I got chihuahuas. I'm not running very far. That's not happening.
Oh no.
What are some things that we didn't touch on that you like? What you have any awesome future plans or any upcoming events that people could meet and greet?
So we are having a economic development commission, pretty much a public meet and greet. There's going to be a morning one, or actually, no, I'm sorry, a lunch one during the lunch hour, and then one after. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Sure.
And there's going to be 2 sessions. So basically what the Economic Development Commission can do for the public and small businesses.
Okay.
So
and that's when?
That is going to be February 15th from 11 to 1:30, and then another one at 5 to 7:30 at the Sunnyside Community Center. So
if you send me that, we'll drop it into the description so people can get access to that.
I sure can. And you can call or text me. Text is usually best because I'm usually with a client or running around literally. So text is best, and I can definitely help people with their wellness goals, real estate goals, business, scaling their business, and all that good stuff. So,
awesome. Brittany, it's been a pleasure having you come in today. I would love to maybe have you come back and talk about some of these other businesses, maybe a little lengthy of a conversation.
Yeah, a little condensed. Yeah, I know I'm kind of all over the place. I have a lot of different social medias, but my business card, I'll give it to you. It has a link or a QR code for all the
Linktree type of a thing. Yeah, it's probably the biggest Linktree I've ever seen.
It's kind of ridiculous. My husband is like, what in the heck are you doing? So,
well, guys, we'll be right back. We're going to cut to our sponsor one more time. Today's Yakima Spotlight Thursday is brought to you by the Recreation Center, which is conveniently located downtown, 200 South Front Street, Yakima. The Recreation Center, your plug-and-play venue for private or public events of all types, sport court rentals, and more. Also, home for Conquer Athletics, top producer of Grit in Central Washington's premier Spartan DECA founding affiliate. Contact them today on Facebook at Conquer Athletics or on Instagram at the Recreation Center. All right, guys. Dan Wise, Wise Media Group. Thank you for joining another episode of Business Spotlight Thursday with our awesome guests, And we're in the new studio, so we'll give you a tour of that, which you can go find either on our YouTube channel at Wise Media, or follow us on Facebook at Wise Media, or over on Talk Yakima. All right, guys, I'll see you next Thursday. Everybody have a great day. People helping people, communities method, one day at a time. Bye.